Okay, today we have a box. We have the M series 10-inch by 7-inch container, 32-ounce microwavable black base, 252 bases per case. Now, that is not what's in here. At least, hopefully that's not what's in here, because if it is, I got scammed. This should be an eMachines T3508. So we'll go ahead and cut towards ourselves. There we go. Always cut towards yourself if you're recording. If you're not recording, cut away from yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself. But if you're on camera, cut towards yourself. That way it's on camera. And there you go. Make sure it's your camera, though, because cameraman never dies. Oh, damn it. First thing I was going to say is that this is packaged a lot better than the first one. You can see that this box, if I didn't mention it, it's an eMachines T3508. There's the T3408 right there, still running happily. This is more about the size package I would want to see. However, this is full of these damn packing peanuts. I hate packing peanuts. Okay. Damn it, I'm going to be finding these things for years. Right, let's see if we can... Oh, no, not happening. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Whatever. Screw it. I will deal with those off camera. Gotta love them. Look at all that. Damn. Shit. Damn it, get out of my way. Okay. This appears to be the back side. Here is the computer. Where'd my knife go? Oh god, we're gonna step on those things and get them all broken up and... Oh. Oh wait. There we go. Okay. Don't know. Oh, I can see that in there too. This is ripped. Go ahead and press the power button. Machine is powering up. We have video. So press F2, I think, to get into setup. Yes, F2. Is it not going to like my keyboard? Sometimes these things don't like the KVM switches. Oh, there's a drive in here. Wild Side of Life. What is that, like some exotic porno? Okay, it looks like it's not going to... No, it is recognizing my keyboard. I don't know why it didn't go into setup when I pressed F2. That's annoying. Are you ignoring me? I just keep stabbing at F2. Are you going to do something? No. Yeah, there it is. Okay. We'll see how the zoom on this camera is. Can I actually zoom in and still be able to read it? Oh my god, I can. Okay. I've got our Intel Celeron D, 3.33 gigahertz. Looks like it is 64-bit capable. 533 front side bus. Where is the RAM? System RAM. Where is it? Am I an idiot? There it is. Single channel, 512 megabytes. Intel Celeron D. Yeah, that's alright. Date and time is not right, but it's close. So, same thing as we did last time. I will go off camera and attempt to, actually do it. Install an operating system, and this time I get the pleasure of cleaning up a bunch of packing peanuts off the floor. I'll install a hard drive, install an operating system, and I will also upgrade the RAM. I believe this thing can take up to 4 gigs, but it's a DDR2 and there's only 2 slots, so I think the most I can get in it is probably 2. And I'm also going to attempt to put in a better CPU, such as a Pentium D, or at least a hyper-threading Pentium 4. And I will be back once I do all that just to show it. Okay, I've gotten the Windows XP installed on the eMachines T3508. So we will go ahead and fire it up. Sorry, I'm not using the matching eMachines monitor today. That's currently in use. Although I do have another one, but it's a stupid flat thing. So, I upgraded the RAM to 2 gigabytes. I think this thing supported 4 gigabytes, however, 2 was all that I had, because it's DDR1, which is, I have a ton of DDR2, I have a little bit of DDR3, but I don't have very much DDR1, and I have even less of the old SD RAM that they took before, you know, the kind with the 2 slots in it. So I upgraded it to 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is perfectly fine for XP. I also got the Intel Pentium D installed. It was functional like I said it would be. You can see there, Intel Pentium D, 3.4 gigabytes. And of course it only recognizes 1.87 gigabytes of RAM because the integrated graphics, which is ATI, what does it say? ATI Radeon Express 200 integrated graphics. And like I said, this machine also has a standard PCI slot, so if I wanted to go crazy and put some crazy graphics card in here, I could. And I know for a fact, I used to have a T3508, and I don't remember what happened to it. I just remember the motherboard died on it for some reason, and I sort of just gave up on it. But that system was actually pretty decent. It would run Windows 7 just fine with a Pentium D in it like it's got now, 3.4 gigahertz. I don't remember what Pentium D I used to have and the one I used to have, but I save all these processors, so it very well might have been this exact chip. I'm not sure, but I do believe I did have 4 gigs of RAM in that system. But it would run Windows 7 just fine. Of course, this one no problem running XP. But I did put a different graphics card in my other one. This one I'll probably just use the onboard graphics because I don't plan on doing anything crazy with it. This is not a factory image. This is XP Professional. Oops. XP Professional, but I do have the eMachines wallpaper because I love it, because it's like the standard Windows XP Bliss Hill, but it says eMachines. And yeah, these systems run pretty good. Of course, it's a dual core Pentium D. And yeah, for light web browsing and basic tasks, a system like this is still perfectly fine. So it's just another example of how old computers. This computer is probably from 2006, seeing as it says designed for XP, but it's Vista capable. And unlike a lot of machines that say they're Vista capable, this one truly is. Now with the 512 megabytes of RAM that originally came in it, it probably would have run like shit. But if you upgraded it to at least a gig or two, it would run Vista just fine. And of course, by those means, it would run 7 or even 10 if you wanted it to. But at that point, you're kind of pushing it. But it would run it just fine, just kind of slow. But the point is, once again, these were very cheap machines, or inexpensive, I should say, when they came out. However, they were reliable. They ran forever, as long as you didn't use the original power supply. If it was the Bestech 250 watt 12E, this of course has the 300 watt 12E, which is perfectly fine. It's just the 250 watt 12E Bestech power supplies that were bad and blew up the motherboard. So the one that's in here is perfectly fine, so they're reliable, and you could upgrade them. Like, this system went from a single core Celeron to a dual core, Pentium D, 2 gigs of RAM. It can go up to 4 gigs of RAM. Everything's not soldered on the board, non-replaceable. This thing even has SATA ports if I wanted to use a SATA hard drive, although I did just put another IDE drive in there because I had one of those laying around. I have SATA drives, but all I could find were like 500 gig and a terabyte, and that's just overkill for something like this where I'm barely going to use 40 gigs, so I ended up putting an 80 gig drive in there. And yeah, I also wanted to mention, I think I already mentioned it, this system and a lot of these, like this one and that one, they use Intel boards, and then this one down here used a board by FIC. That one was a bit harder to find the drivers for, but this one used a Trigem Imperial board, which is the company that actually made eMachines. It's called Trigem. But most of these will use, if they're Intel models and they're the later models like this one, they will just use a standard Intel desktop motherboard. And you just, instead of trying to find drivers for, say, eMachines T3508, because you're going to have a hell of a time finding those, just look up the model number on your motherboard. So this one was an Intel desktop board. I forget the exact model number, but I just looked that up and found the drivers for the motherboard, and of course they work perfectly fine. All the drivers are installed perfectly fine. The only one you wouldn't want to install would be if there's a BIOS update for the motherboard, because if it's not specifically the eMachines BIOS update, it's going to erase the eMachines BIOS and install just the standard Intel BIOS. So when you turn it on, it won't say eMachines or have the eMachines BIOS, it'll just say Intel desktop boards. So don't install a BIOS update unless it's specifically for your model of eMachines computer. That's what I did on this this eMachine here with this Trigem board in it. But the BIOS update I used was actually for a Hewlett-Packard computer, And now that computer thinks it's a Hewlett-Packard. You turn it on, it says HP, and that also changed some settings for some reason, and my operating system would no longer boot, so I had to completely reinstall the operating system, and now I have an HP Machines instead of just a regular eMachines, which is sort of annoying, and good luck finding another version of that eMachines BIOS, because since eMachines no longer exists, a lot of the stuff that for them just ended up getting completely deleted or erased. If you're lucky, you might find a factory restore disk. So, yeah. But other than the BIOS updates, for the drivers, just look up the model number of the board you have in there. And that goes for all sorts of stuff. If it's like a gateway or a HP's pretty good about having drivers, but if it's some name of a company that doesn't really exist anymore, look and see if the motherboard's made by somebody like Intel or Asus. Used to be used in a lot of compact machines, and see if you can find the drivers for the actual board as opposed to the model of the computer, and you'll have a lot better luck doing that, because I know drivers for old computers can be kind of a pain in the ass, especially really old stuff. Dell is really good about drivers, and HP is pretty good about them as well, and Lenovo is really decent as well. They have all the drivers for the old IBM machines as well. But other than those three, it can be kind of a shit show trying to find drivers for older machines, especially a lot of companies that don't exist anymore, like eMachines. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think I've said that about as many different ways as I can say it to get this video time up, which I really shouldn't be, because I recorded this in a very high resolution, and it's going to take at least overnight to upload, so that's why I normally record in 480. I don't know why I decided to use the high definition camera for this, but I did, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.